All right, everybody, here we go. We're back. First react to the season. And, of course, Robbie and I definitely wanted to do what we also predicted was going to happen. If you watched our prediction episode, Boston 2025.
Yep. This is the first of we're trying to get some really early reacts, first impressions of the season.
Yeah.
And we've seen this show. I think we watched it once, maybe twice.
Once, yeah. I've watched it once.
So we've seen the show before, and we've also seen the scores. I'm just saying, they're coming out early season and beating Blue Devils.
First show of the season. So this is a recording from the first show of the season.
Yep.
You know, where they were almost a point ahead of the Blue Devils. Will they stay there? We don't know yet.
Hard to tell.
But I will say, after you watch this, if you haven't seen it yet, maybe this is your first time watching it, we're going to go ahead and get through it and going to talk a little bit about it and kind of give you our thoughts on what's going on and what we think is going to happen.
Some early impressions.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
So,
without further ado.
All
right. Cool kind of styrofoam film to start off.
I really love this opening.
It's a really cool opening.
Yeah.
A little bit of faffing about.
I don't think I cut this video very well. So it's a little bit extra play at the beginning.
Oh, throw a cut in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all cheering.
On the side note, I think this is the first year that Boston has decided to go the West Coast route, which
they're doing like West Coast tour,
which is always the argument that I think everybody makes, and this is a very good.
Drum majors, Wes Booker, Joe Zizka, and Matty Walenga. Is your core ready?
And now you're watching Boston come out and beat them. Kind of makes a lot more sense.
Performing their 2025 program, Boom! Drum Corps International is proud to present the Boston Crusaders.
Initial first little opening statement.
Listen, we're going to do this throughout the show. So if you haven't watched the show, it's going to go find it someplace else.
Exactly,
and come back and watch us.
So opening hit, what a statement!
The sprint at the beginning to open up to make it look like the big atom bomb and it's such a cool design choice, and you really get a sense of the power and the articulation and the horn line and how clean they are. And the guard is doing all the same stuff. They're the guard. I mean, they're the Boston guard.
Boston
they're
guard.
So good. So it's a great opening statement. I think it's the best opening statement I've seen this year so far.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's really there's no preamble. There's no faffing about.
Get into it,
It's like one bar of lead in and then boom.
Yeah.
Hits you in the face with brass and running and sprinting and drums and guard.
I like the ticking time bomb thing at the beginning, which is super cool. It's very on brand for the show. And then the crab stepping big triangle box that they're in.
Oh, the box is awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Right,
Yeah,
great first full opening hit.
Very simplistic, very easy for a member to achieve a very good, powerful moment at the beginning of the show.
Yeah,
it makes total sense.
I think they're really just showing off we're taking no prisoners this year.
Yeah, and then there's a tuba player who runs from the 50 to the 3 in one shot. It's ridiculous. I'm like, yo, man, I'm sorry for you.
They're making them sprint.
Yeah, they're going. Right. So anyway.
All right, yeah.
things that I love in that section is the contrast between the mellophone feature and then the baritone feature. It's this very like majestic kind of feel, and then the baritones come in with this little bit more aggressive.
It's a
and
big
like,
rhythmic switch.
Yes, correct.
It feels very contrasting.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's hard to pull off.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and it really gives you the dynamic of the piece that you're trying to see. And you're like, oh, okay, this is why there's the duality in the piece of music where there's kind of a little bit of a fight and a little bit of tension between the sections. It's really, really well done. And the guard is ridiculously clean for this early in the season. I mean, they're
I was gonna
good.
say, I think their biggest benefit, the show design's really solid.
Yeah.
Boston's crazy clean.
Yeah.
Already.
They're so There's definitely dirt, and
Definitely.
there's definitely
I mean, you can
room
see a
to
little
improve.
bit like this last set.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big curve. It's one of the hardest things.
Right, exactly.
It's like a big multi
But even
stage
the
curve.
company front looked dead straight.
The
Good
company
job.
front was great.
Hey,
All the big format on the grid stuff they're doing is really clean and
yeah,
readable.
it's very readable.
And the brass sounds awesome.
Yeah, they sound
Right?
so good.
There's that little double tongue section is readable, but has got some dirt. But it's also really hard.
Yeah,
and they're on
yeah,
the
yeah.
move while they're doing it, or they're very involved while
Yes,
they're doing it.
exactly. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
So it's really impressive. I feel like they're an up and coming core. They're gunning for first place. They want a championship soon.
Yeah. Which we both said, by the way, was going to be this year.
Yes, we predicted that Boston might win
said
this
that.
year,
We
and
said
so,
that, so-
it's looking good.
Yep. So far, we're
but
feeling
like,
pretty good.
I don't know if this makes sense, but like they're the cleanest I have seen a core that is gunning for first place in a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
I felt like Blue Coats was very clean last year.
Oh,
Early this
last
time
year,
too.
like-
yeah.
cores have won. Cores have won with super clean shows. I mean, I think Santa Clara 18 was really clean. Coates last year was, but in terms like Boston last year didn't win, but still super clean.
Yeah, very clean.
They're not just depending on GE and wow factor to aim for their
Yeah.
win.
Everything. They're in all three sections are really hitting hard, and they're doing
really
very
are.
well. Yeah. So
They're firing all cylinders. Not really a weak point.
yeah, not so far. It's not purposely bent legs. It's like a backwards skip.
A shuffle.
It's
yeah,
like
it's
a
like a
backwards
hop.
skip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah,
exactly.
It's neat.
It's a really. I like it when they're like they're. I like when a course still kind of technically marches, but they do it in a stylistic way.
Yeah. It's very fun.
You know?
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun parts in that whole section where with the solos with the legs, and if you look at everybody else, and I'm looking forward to seeing some other cuts of the show throughout the season to see what other sections are doing, because there's obviously stuff you're missing.
Yeah. I think it was a really strong movement overall. It felt like, a lot of times cores will have like one particularly technical movement.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was kind of Boston's, but it's also maybe the most fun so far.
Yeah. I
It's
totally agree.
very gimmicky in the way that Boston has cultivated last year.
Yes, I agree.
Like last year, I think they
100%
did
agree.
a great job at being kind of campy,
but
and
also
gimmicky,
being
but
super clean and
it's
fun.
like, clean and fun, and it's not still pushing the activity and doing high difficulty.
Yes. Yeah.
Like sort of artistically strong performances while still being gimmicky.
It's definitely a performed thing. It's not just a hey guys, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's super cool. There's there's so much going on in that part.
It's super fun.
Super genre.
Yes,
it's
very
very
genre
like
appropriate.
50s era.
Yep.
Just a really super strong movement overall. Uniforms are crisp on the field as well.
Say about this, because I say this constantly. I've been saying this for 20 some plus years. The hardest horn to hear on the field is the tuba because of the low register.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I think drill designers and people are always like, put them in the back because they wear them on their shoulders. They'll be able to shoot over there. And I have always hated that.
Well,
they
and
should
also
listen when you listen.
The horn line's supposed to listen down.
I totally get that's fine. But here's the thing. Look, when you put them up front like that, you can tell very clearly that is not pumped audio, that is good, low brass, crisp tuba, euphonium, baritone sound supporting all the upper brass that's in the back.
Yeah.
You only have 12 tubas, and there's probably 20, 24 trumpets there. Like, you can hear a trumpet just fine, right?
You can hear a trumpet on the back sideline.
Put the tubas up front, let them just put a big, thick sound on the bottom, and you get a much better chord and a much sounding resolution.
I was just saying, like, the Ballad...
It's good design.
The Ballad, I think, does its job.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty. I'm curious to see if they'll develop it a little more.
Right.
But it does... I think it's an interesting choice because they don't go super loud. I feel like a lot of cores are like Ballad, you just melt your face off.
Right.
By the end, I feel like they're making the active choice to be like, let's focus on a nice like sonority.
Yes.
Like a nice rich brass sound.
Yeah.
By the end,
And
you
it
know, we're not
sounds
blowing our
fantastic.
faces off. We're doing that plenty of other times during the rest of the show.
Right.
So let's just have it be super pretty.
Yep.
Right, and nice and up front, so you can hear it nice and clearly. And it's a super balanced sound.
Yeah.
Really good brass sound.
Yeah.
I think I think as well as a gold medal, all their sections are also gunning for their respective awards.
Yeah. And they're doing
Right.
very good right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, Perk was close to taking it last year for a little while.
Yeah, they were at first for a hot minute there.
Yeah, I think they're probably aiming for that Sanford, and I think Brass is gunning for an Ott. They sound very clean so
They
far.
sound very good. Yes.
All right, let's finish this up. Definitely a little more.
Yeah.
I think it's a great start to what is clearly like the probably 50% of a closer.
Yeah. I would say so. There's probably like at least another 30 seconds to 45
At
seconds.
least,
left.
they're definitely gonna add. It feels like a solid ending for what you would expect for late June.
You know what it looks like?
Right?
It looks like, so they do the one thing that I hate the most in drum corps is they do those really cool ground rolls. They have that big box, and if you watch everybody, the outside begins the ground roll. It's a ground roll ripple. And then as the outside people are standing up, they're running in. That's how that box collapses. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I would hate being a part of it because I can't stand ground rolls.
Well, I mean, I think you're 20 years past your ground rolling time. I feel
true.
past my ground rolling time.
Did I tell you?
The youngins of today in the DCI world class can do ground roll as much as they want.
Yeah,
Leave us out of it.
Yeah, you're fine. Did I tell you that? Just a side note is that this year my ages out.
God, yeah, you're right.
My ages out again this year.
21 years past your age out.
My second age out because my original age out was 04.
Yeah,
so,
you think you'll make it to a third?
I mean, and I hope I live that long. I don't know if I'll be marching that long. But so listen, that show is great. It's powerful. It's got all the things.
Yep. It's clean.
Here's the other thing too, is that it's built for early season scores. so that it can adjust for late season scores,
Yeah.
because that has been the name of the game the last 10, 15 years.
Yep.
Is people going into Texas, into Atlanta and changing their whole closer and basically fixing whatever the judges are going, hey, you could use a little bit more of this, and
Yeah.
they add that. So this is already a super strong stroke. Like if they had stopped there at a finals and it was clean, it would be a pretty complete show. I'd want a little bit more in the closer, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty solid show from top to bottom.
It's not like some of the other cores. If you watch them, you can tell like they do not have their closer on the field at all.
Yeah,
they've got a pretty complete package right now.
Yeah, which is why they're scoring the way they are, and rightfully so. Their color guard is absolutely lights out. They're phenomenal.
It's
Some of the
insane,
stuff
just
they're
like they
doing.
have been for the past however many seasons, ever since they stole Crown Guard staff.
Yeah. And listen, they do that, and they have a really solid drum line this year. There is not a single weak feature in their entire show.
Yep. There's not a single weak link in the whole show.
Yeah, it's very good. So it's just going to be cleaning, which they do very well, and it's going to be. This is my prediction. If you're watching this early season, Boston last year they didn't do it, but historically the previous few years they got very burnt out the week before finals, going into finals trying to chase, and they ended up dropping places. Last year they didn't do that.
Yeah.
In 24 they didn't do that, but this year I think if they're riding in high, my hope is that they don't beat them into submission, trying to stay in first. Trying to stay in first, and then end up.
And hopefully they learned from last year. I mean, last year, like what they did worked.
Yeah,
they beat
it was
the Blue
great.
Devils. It was a championship worthy show.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it was any other year,
if
that
Blue Coats
wasn't putting out a generational.
if Blue Coats didn't have that absolute crazy show, I would have not had a problem with last year's show winning. It would have been great.
Any show that can beat the modern Blue Devils is a championship worthy show.
I agree with
like
that.
one that could
Could
have won a championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's championship shows that win because they win and because nobody else is cleaner or good enough. And then there's championship shows that win because they are just, like you said, it's like a generational show, but they are just lights out. That's how I feel about every Blue Devils championship. They're great. They're clean. They're good, right?
Yeah.
They're just not, they don't do anything for me, right?
Yeah.
Any show that beats them, it's a show that does it for me.
Because
Right?
Blue Devils is just always, it's consistent enough that
It's just,
you have
there.
to hit that level
Yes.
of cleanliness and efficacy
yeah.
in order to beat them.
Right.
And I think and Boston has literally proved. I think we'd be saying this even if they hadn't gone head to head, but they've already literally proved that they can put out a show that will beat the Blue Devils competition wise.
Absolutely.
So I hope they can
It's
just.
gonna be great.
I think this show has got the sauce.
Yep.
I think I'm super excited to see.
I think we predicted it.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
killed it.
I mean, you can quote us right now.
Yeah.
I think we nailed it.
Yep. I think we're good. So that's
think-
it. No, go ahead.
This is slightly on the out of pocket, but we've seen the Blue Coats show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's another third place year for Devils? I think it's possible.
I watched the Devil Show, and I'm going to say this, and you know me, I like the Devil Show.
Oh,
So it's one of two things is going to happen. Because I like it, it's going to be a third place show.
I was gonna
'Cause
say,
anytime
that's what happened
anytime I
last
like
year.
a Blue Devil show, it's a third place show. I don't know that. I'm very curious to see what Blue Coats does with their show. I don't think they have
Same.
enough. I don't think they have enough in their show to beat the Blue Devils this year, because I actually really enjoy the Blue Devil show this
I'll be
year.
curious to see. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, stick around in a little while. We are gonna try and get an early season Blue Coats react as well.
Yep.
As well as any other shows.
Yep.
We got some ones in the tank.
Yeah, we're gonna see. When we get some good ones up there and
Yep.
and
a
find
few
them
more-
and throw them
few
out
more
there.
ready to go.
If there's anything you're interested in seeing,
Yep.
early season, we'll find it and we'll throw it up and react to it. So put it in the comments. Let us know what you want to see, and that's it for us, I think, for today.
Yeah, I think this was a nice little react, a great little start to the 2025 season.
Yeah, it's a great
We'll be
start.
back to you soon with more reacts, but until then, off cycle.